Have you been riding in the woods and when you go around turns, it's hard to stay on the trail, especially if it's a tight turn? So when you come up to it, you start turning, but then even if you slow down, you still end up going off the trail and you either get stuck and stall and fall over, or you run right into a tree or a branch or something. That's really frustrating, especially if you're riding with some friends that are pulling away from you and you're trying to keep up, or you just want to have fun and not fly off the trail every 5 seconds and tip over. Well, I want to share a simple tip on how to stay on the trail when going around turns. And I don't claim to be an expert or the fastest rider, but these tips have helped me as well as the students that I've coached go from a nervous trail rider to a confident trail rider. And when it comes to staying on the trail and turns, one of the biggest mistakes I see is sitting in the same position on the seat. And this is even more common if you are a taller rider or you're riding a small bike that feels a little bit cramped for you. So you're just sitting in a nice relaxed position, which is fine for going straight, but once you start turning, the front end feels kind of loose and wobbly, and it's hard to turn sharply without falling over or the front wheel kind of wanting to slide out or just flying off the trail. So when you just sit and stay in the same spot while turning, this is not how dirt bikes are set up to be ridden, because when you're sitting in the middle or towards the rear of the seat, this lowers the rear end of the bike, and when the rear end is lower, it makes it harder to turn the bike at low speeds because the geometry of the forks and the frame are different than what they're supposed to be. And there's also not enough weight on the front tire, making it more likely the tire to slide out when you start leaning over and turning. And there's a few reasons why you might be sitting in the same position. One, maybe you're just unsure of what the correct body position is. That's totally fine. No one starts out dirt biking and trail riding knowing every little technique and body position, especially if you're brand new or if you're coming from riding a street bike or a mountain bike or a jet ski or whatever it is. I constantly see new riders just sitting there and twisting the throttle, turn the handlebars, but they're just sitting in the same spot. And in order to efficiently control your bike and have the most traction, you need to learn how to use your body by shifting it in the right position at the right time, which I show you how to do in my backyard confidence method in my virtual dirt biker school without taking years to learn. Or maybe you just sit in the same position because it feels weird or awkward to move your body on the bike. You might feel cramped if you're sitting too far forward, or if you're used to riding a street bike or a mountain bike where you're used to just sitting in the same spot on the seat. Or maybe you're just afraid of flying over the handlebars, so you stay away from the front of the seat. I totally understand that because it's really intimidating when you might get shot forward. But when you're sitting in the same spot or too far back, you're more likely to crash because you don't have as much traction and control of the bike. So what is the solution? Well, first you need to start in the neutral position, which is just ahead of the middle of the seat. And if you look at where you're sitting, your center of gravity, your center of mass, it should be right above the foot pegs. This is how dirt bike suspension is designed to be ridden. And then depending on how you're accelerating or decelerating or cornering, you shift your body from there. So when you're sitting above the foot pegs, this makes the front and rear suspension balanced so that they're the same height, giving you the best handling and traction on the front and rear. And if you're going around a corner, especially a tight corner, you want more front end traction, you want it easier to turn, you'll be scooting forward on the seat to make it easier. And if you are a casual trail rider and want to have more confidence, then you should check out this video on how you can trail ride with confidence without taking years to learn. I'm Kelly Fager from Motocross Hideout. Ride safe, have fun.